The oath-taking ceremony of Narendra Modi will see participation of several leaders from the region. With me is Bhutan's Prime Minister. Sir, welcome to WION. It's great to have you here in Delhi and hold conversations with you. My first question to you is your participation at the oath-taking ceremony. How do you see Bhutan being invited for the third time to participate in this grand ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan?
We're delighted to be here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was very kind in inviting me here, and I'm delighted to be here to represent my king and people, to offer our congratulations in person and to take part in the oath-taking ceremony. The fact that many of the neighbors of India are here and have been invited is evidence and confirmation of the continuing neighbourhood first policy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also confirmation that Bhutan as a neighbour matters to him and his government.
So let's go to India-Bhutan relationship. We saw the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his last visit in the second term was to Bhutan. How do you see this special relationship between the two countries?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit abroad during his first tenure as Prime Minister was to Bhutan. His last visit in his second tenure as Prime Minister was also to Bhutan. And therefore, this is evidence that the relations between our two countries are not just strong but are growing. On Bhutan's side, His Majesty the King has visited India several times and has contributed towards the strengthening of the ties between our two countries. So the way I see it is, even during the third tenure of Prime Minister Modi as Prime Minister of India, our relations, the relations between Bhutan and India, is going to grow from strength to strength.
There are several pillars to this relationship. One has been connectivity. We recently saw the announcement, in fact it happened last year, on railway connectivity. If you can give the current situation as to where railway connectivity has reached and other areas of connectivity which we are looking between India and Bhutan.
Well, our primary connectivity is road, and most of the highways connecting India to Bhutan are of good quality, and they've improved over the last 5 years. And then we have air connectivity to Bhutan from India, and we are looking forward to connectivity not just to the existing international airport in Paro, but also to the new international airport in Gyeongju, in what is being developed as the Gyeongju Mindfulness City by His Majesty the King. The third form of connectivity is IT, data connectivity, and we are well connected to India, and we are now on the final stages of finalizing a gateway through another part of India, the northeastern part of India, from the eastern part of India. The final connectivity was what you mentioned, the rail connectivity, and we are working with the Indian Railway authorities to finalize this connectivity also. The Government of India and Prime Minister Modi have kindly agreed to connecting Bhutan with the Indian rail network.
You mentioned about Gyeongju. The big announcement on Gyeongju is something that was closely watched here in India as well. What's the rationale behind this city, and where do you see India's role in supporting the development of this city?
Well, the Gyeongju Mindfulness City is a vision of His Majesty the King to take Bhutan forward, economically forward, and this is something that His Majesty the vision of His Majesty is being very, very carefully implemented already. As far as India is concerned, the government at the highest level is rendering their fullest support to the vision, to realization of the vision of the Gyeongju Mindfulness City, and many businesses have expressed interest in investing in the development and the operation in the city once the city starts operations.
There are several other elements of the relationship as well in terms of the capacity building space. These are the new areas as well. Capacity building has been something that has been ongoing. Space is another one. We have seen a lot of developments. If you can give an update on both of them.
Well, in terms of capacity building, particularly human resource development, we have many students come to India, study. We have many of our civil servants and public servants train in India and increase their capacities in India. We've been enjoying a very close relationship in terms of developing space technology also with India.
And in terms of the BBIN, what's the progress like? What's the update like?
BBIN is an exciting project among Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal and India. We have to be mindful because Bhutan is the smallest country. We have barely 7 lakh people, and we are engaged with some of the densest, most densely populated areas in the world. So our people are very cautious. But overall BBIN is a very good concept, and we look forward to engaging more actively in it. In terms of BBIN for transport, this is where our people are a bit concerned.
What's the concerns like, sir?
The concern is simply because we are surrounded by very densely populated people, which require a lot of transport, whereas in Bhutan, we have very few people and very few vehicles. And as a result, our people have been concerned that we'll be overwhelmed by our neighbors, which is Bangladesh, India and Nepal.
Tourism is a mainstay of your economy. For Indian tourists and globally as well, there is a certain amount that they need to give. Do you think that is seen as a trade barrier as well for many Indian tourists as well traveling to your country?
It's not a trade barrier. It's the only practical way we can implement our policy of high value, low volume.
Let's speak about other neighbors as well. Since you are here in Delhi, where other of your neighbors, including Nepal and Bangladesh, are also present. We saw the king visiting Bangladesh as well. How do you see the relationship progressing? Any other specific elements are we looking, especially with Bangladesh, their support to the Gelfu Mindful project?
We enjoy very good relations with Bangladesh, and yes, they are very supportive of the Gelfu Mindfulness City project.
And with Nepal?
With Nepal also we have very good relations.
Let's go to international aspect. How do you think that the conflict in Europe, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and in West Asia, the Gaza and Israel conflict impacts countries like Bhutan?
Most of our trade is with India, and given that these conflicts have not significantly impacted the situation in India, and it has not impacted the situation in India because of India's leadership. As a result, we in Bhutan have not really been impacted.
I believe naturally there will be a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister. What kind of conversation you are looking at?
Well, if there is, we've requested for a bilateral meeting, and I will certainly congratulate Prime Minister Modi and the people of India. I would look forward to working closely with him into furthering the relationship between our two countries, and we may discuss a few other initiatives that is happening between our two countries.
Climate change impacts countries like Bhutan. What is your sense essentially where the world is going on the climate change front?
We're going in the wrong direction. It's getting more and more dangerous.
And can you explain the view of Bhutan? The happiness index is something, that's my last question, that the world is really at odd. If you can explain to our viewers, how do you define happiness and growth together, which is unique to Bhutan?
The world is not at odds with happiness. Everyone aspires for happiness. Of course, how you define happiness is a different matter. In Bhutan, we've, because of the enlightened leadership of our kings, we've implemented a development philosophy that we call gross national happiness. And simply put, it puts the happiness and well-being of the people at this center of the development agenda. Gross national happiness balances economic growth, which is important, undeniably important, but balances that with environmental sustainability, social progress, cultural preservation, and good governance.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION.
Thank you.